Let us pray. Most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this time together. We thank you, Lord, for this great country that we live in. Thank you for freedom. Thank you for health. We thank you for all your many blessings of life each day. We ask you, Heavenly Father, tonight that you help us all to make decisions in our life that would be great for this great America that you allow us to live in each day. Lead, guide, and direct in this meeting tonight. Forgive us our sins. In Jesus' name, amen.
Boy Scout Troop 188 will lead us to the Pledge of Allegiance to the American flag.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. Y'all may be seated. I'd like to welcome everyone to the August 16, 2012 Blount County Board of Commissioners meeting. Thank you, Reverend Sutherland, for tonight's evening prayer. And on behalf of the Commission, the Chair likes to thank Boy Scout Troop 188 for the presentation of the colors. This time I'll read the emergency evacuation procedure. In the event of an emergency evacuation, an alarm will sound. Everyone should exit the building by way of the nearest stairwell in a safe and effective manner. If the nearest stairwell is blocked by smoke, use the other stairwell. Do not use the elevator. Once you have reached the main floor, follow the exit signs to exit the building and quickly proceed away from the building. Be mindful of others evacuating and of emergency vehicles. The Commission will now come to order. Please register your presence by voting yes. Commissioner Harrison.
You have 19 present, 2 absent. You have a quorum.
19 present. We have 2 absent. Commissioner Merle has sent word that her brother in Michigan is very ill and she's left to be with him. I've not heard from Commissioner Birchfield.
Mr. Chairman, she was running late and left to go home.
Thank you, Commissioner Helton. At this time, the Chair will stand for a motion to set the agenda. Ms. Lambert moves. Second by Mr. Carver. Commissioner Farmer, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Items F4 and F5, Mr. Dunlap has requested that those be removed from tonight's agenda. He has some research that he needs to perform on those prior to them being voted on.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Farmer. Commissioner Lewis.
Thank you. If we could also pull F1E. I understand, Mr. Chairman, that there's an incorrect account number on that, and that will need to be brought back.
Okay, without objection, F4, F5, and F1E will be removed. The pending motion made by Ms. Lambert, second by Mr. Carver, is to set the agenda with F4, F5, and F1E removed. Discussion, further discussion. Please vote yes to set the agenda. Vote no not to set. There you go. Batteries.
We have 19 yeses.
19 yes. The agenda is set. Moving on to item B, the consent calendar. The chair will stand for a motion to approve the consent calendar. Commissioner Lael moves. Mr. Lewis seconds. Discussion. Are the members ready for the question? Vote yes to approve the consent calendar. Vote no not to approve. Please vote.
We have 19 yeses.
19 yes. The consent calendar is approved. Moving to item C on the agenda, public input on the agenda. The clerk will only start the clock after the speaker has introduced themselves, stated the district in which they reside, and to what item on the agenda they will be providing comment. Please raise your hand, Mr. Duck. Okay. Tell you, let's start from the very back and come forward. The gentleman in the very back corner, if you'll come forward, and then we'll move forward.
Dodd Crow, District 6, Agenda Item 3. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
We open this meeting tonight with prayer and a pledge, and we pledged ourselves to the representative government. And I'll do the same thing in the morning with my children. But our representative government has failed us on this issue. Alcoa's representatives failed them because they wanted a new high school, and they chose not to fund it, let the people vote on it, and the people voted or caused it to happen where we have to help build Alcoa's high school. The representatives failed them. Our representatives failed us because they haven't adequately funded our school system and have created a gap between the city and the county schools that is increasing every year. And then both representative bodies have failed us because our forefathers were careful to create a republic. Now you've rolled this back on us, and we're stuck. We're stuck because if you don't vote yes tonight for this item and allow the people to vote, you're going to increase that gap. And you're actually saying we want to continue letting Blount County children fall behind. And then when you vote yes, I'm stuck because I have to go out and compete with my neighbors for resources for our children. I'm hoping for about 4 things. One thing that I'm hoping for is that the Alcoa residents understand that this is not Blount County's fault. It's their representatives for putting us in this situation. I hope that Alcoa understands that we're not trying to hurt their children and take their high school. We have to protect our children. I hope that everybody understands this county shares property taxes. It's only right that we share sales tax. And I hope in the future that Blount County representatives and citizens will take care of all of our children. Together we stand, divided we fall.
Would the next person on the last row please come forward?
Hello, I'm Kaylin Bailey, District 6, and I go to William Blount High School. I'm pretty much just here to give my opinion on the tax increase, just like Mr. Crow. I'm definitely for it, and we really do have a promising youth here in Blount County. I'm pretty much representing them by being here tonight. I don't see any other children, but I'm here, and I just wanted to give my opinion from someone who actually walks the halls every day and goes to our schools. So thank you for your time.
Anyone else on the back row? Let's come to the next back row. If you'll come forward, please. Anyone on that row? The next row, please come forward. Third row from the back. Is there anyone? Ms. King, I believe you're on the next row. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Linda King with Citizens for Blount County Future. I live in District 4, and I'm speaking on F3. Although I strongly believe that all sales taxes should be put on a referendum, this is one time where I'd like you to vote no to having a referendum on the ballot for a sales tax. It is not necessary. The Commission agreed this year not to increase our taxes. Now you're saying it's up to the people. We saw the director of schools, a board member, and the highway superintendent get up here stating that they want their share, just like the greedy Obama crowd. They'll be out spouting rhetoric about how the schools and highway department can't get along without this newfound money, even though their budgets have already been set. We just gave the highway department the cable funds amounting to over $600,000, and you could double the amount we give to the schools tomorrow, and they'd still want more. When we bought a new car for the director of schools, it wasn't for the kids. When the school hired 2 people to replace Brian Bell at an increased cost, it wasn't for the kids. When the director of schools took a 4% increase while other county employees will see 3% at less, it wasn't for the kids. On this month's agenda, you're voting to pick up $78,000 for the rehab center because the schools want the county to pay it. Mr. Logan said they only have 5 students in the program. Apparently, we already found extra money in our county budget because it looks like we're agreeing to pick up the new expense. So let's not ask the citizens, your constituents, to face an increased tax. You all know who'll vote for this referendum, those who'll profit from it. We taxpayers won't profit. We'll have to take more money from our pocket to pay more for products. You're very aware of the number of people in this community who get out to vote. It's the county-connected employees, and the department heads will get all the publicity they want to push the tax increase, unlike those of us who are against big government. The solution to this whole situation is this. Let Alcoa increase their tax and let the people of Alcoa pay the increase. The rest of us should resist a tax increase and do our shopping in Maryville and Blount County where the taxes remain low. We're told that the vote in Alcoa was overwhelming. How does 1,018 people voting for an increase create an overpowering desire to raise taxes on yourself? 1,018 people are creating a push in the whole county? Something is very wrong. Alcoa residents were threatened that unless they increased the sales tax, they'd see a higher property tax. Well, the money vultures will probably be telling Blount County the same thing. Alcoa is building a $29 million school. We just saw the rendering of a beautiful new nursing home to be built in Louisville for only $21 million. Again, something is very wrong. The school systems are out of control. Don't push a referendum or tax increase on the people. But because you probably will, at least change the referendum to read that the extra tax would be applied to our debt, not to additional spending by county departments. Do you really want to be remembered as the commission who helped push our sales tax to the maximum and did nothing to cut our debt? Thank you.
Ms. Miller, come forward, please.
I'm Karen Miller, and I reside in District 4. I'd like to address issue F3 tonight. The tax and spend tyranny needs to stop. The people voting for a tax increase, sales tax increase in Alcoa, was a little over 1,000 people, and that does not speak for this whole county. We do not need to be supporting the 10th plank of the Communist Manifesto, and that's what public education is. Taxpayers do not need to have their taxes increased to pay for this. A perfect example is a student that spoke today for the tax increases. What a sad day in America when citizens want to come and have taxes increased. It doesn't make any sense when we spend foolishly. We do not spend for the children. We spend for bureaucracy. We just waste money. We waste money on raises. We waste money on unneeded vehicles and traveling expenses. It's just totally uncalled for. Citizens need to take control. They need to get things back the way it should be. We are not a communist country at this time, but the way we're going to be that way very soon. Please do not put this on to be voted for. We do not need any more sales tax increases anywhere. We don't need any tax increases. We need to cut spending and get rid of our debt. Thank you.
Same row, if you please come forward. Mr. Brett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, good evening. I'm here as Rob Britt, Director of Blount County Schools, and I would like to take this opportunity to urge and encourage you to place the 0.5% sales tax referendum on the November ballot. Allow county residents to participate in and benefit from the sales tax revenue that was just recently passed in the city of Alcoa. At present, the tax collected from the additional 0.5% increase in all businesses in Alcoa will go directly to benefit the Alcoa City Schools and the building of their $30 million high school and a new athletic facilities. As a resident and as Director of Blount County Schools, I believe that our sales tax dollars should be shared and spread out over our entire county to benefit all schools and all students, not just in one system. A couple of facts I'd like for you to keep in mind. The Blount County Schools were just named as one of 21 school systems out of 136 in the state as exemplary for our outstanding student achievement gains and substantial gap closures with subgroups. Our school system continues to perform well above the state average, but is funded well below the state average. While students in Maryville City and Alcoa City continue to enjoy student spending well above the state average, including Alcoa City Schools spending about $2,400+ above what we can afford in the Blount County school system for each student. We will begin this budget cycle looking at a $5 million funding gap or deficit with no clear answers on how to keep critical services and resources in place for our students. We are in desperate need of large investments in technology and textbooks as well as other critical instructional resources. To me, the choice is simple. We can leave the new revenue in Alcoa and fund their high school, or we can choose to take advantage of that new revenue generated from this existing tax, spread it to all students in our county. Our school system is proven to be both efficient and effective, and our students deserve to be appropriately invested in. Please support this referendum. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Dunlap.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Bill Dunlap, County Highway Superintendent, speaking on F3. I've had several calls since this came to Budget Committee. Some of them were asking me why I was going to get another increase. I already get half of the county-generated sales tax. That's part of my revenue. This body, this Budget Committee, and this body voted this year to give me an increase, and that is the cable franchise fee. I greatly appreciate it. If you'll drive through your districts, you'll see how that's being spent. I would like to make a request tonight. If this goes on referendum, and if this passes, I will be, and Mr. Crawford, I'd like to have this as part of the minutes. I would ask the Budget Committee in this next year's budget session, since both of these amounts are almost equal, to take that cable franchise fee back and put it towards debt. That's your call, but I would love to see that happen, and you'll still see asphalt being placed in your districts. Thank you.
The row in front of Mr. Dunlap, anyone on that row desire to speak? Okay, moving forward to the next row. Mr. Gardner. Then we'll get to Mr. Gallagher.
Good evening. I'm Travis Gardner from the 4th District, and I'd like to comment on agenda item 4. Tonight, I'm before you, and I've got 2 kids at home. I come as part of the school board.
You're speaking on F4, sir, or F3?
Pardon me, sir?
Which?
I'm from District 4, and I'm speaking on comments to item 3.
Thank you.
As a father of 2 kids in the county school system, I'm proud of this county school system. My 2 girls are going to be entering the workforce in 4 years and 10 years, or choosing to go to college. And that's the mission of the Blount County school system, is get these kids ready to either enter college, and they're competing to enter college with their test scores and the talents, skills, and abilities that they bring with them from high school, from our county school system, or they're preparing themselves to enter the workforce. And it's our job to make sure that they're prepared to do those 2 things. I implore you to increase funding for our education. Today, we've seen a solid 5-year track record of eroding revenues and funding for education in the county. We're eating our seed corn. If we continue to eat our seed corn and not invest in our children and their education, one day we'll have no more seed corn to plant, and we will starve. I ask you to give favorable consideration to both the referendum. It is a step, but it is only a step in the right direction. With the funding from the referendum, as well as increased funding in potential future years, we can catch up. We're competing with all the other districts, and these children are competing with all the other graduates for those entrants into college and those entrants into the job market. It doesn't stop for you here tonight with a vote. I just say please consider, as your role in the community, the constituents, the citizens, they're going to look for you for not just an opinion, but an informed opinion. Look to your heart, look to your conscience, and give them that informed opinion, and allow the people to make that choice on the referendum, but also answer their questions with thought and consideration when they want an informed opinion about the impact of this referendum, as well as education funding. As far as use of the funds, I beg you to consider this. Allocate the funds, and then place your trust in both the administration and the school board to be diligent stewards. Communicate with them, let your expectations be known, and I ask the community to let their expectations be known. And if we don't meet those expectations, and we don't meet that commitment, and we're not prompt stewards, hold us accountable for it. Thank you.
My name is Joe Gallagher. I'm an alderman in the beautiful, scenic town of Louisville, but I speak this evening as a private individual citizen. Mr. Chairman, I speak tonight in opposition of any consideration of an increase in local sales tax. I have 10 reasons. 1, Tennessee already has a sales tax at least equal to the nation's highest at 9.25%. Number 2, sales tax is a regressive tax on middle and lower income citizens, of which Blount County has many. 3, if anything, Blount County Commission should be seeking ways to lower the sales tax, especially for food, children's clothing, and shoes, and over-the-counter drugs. 4, benefits of lower sales taxes. Better buying power for all residents, but especially for lower-income families, including the proverbial single mom with 2 children who takes home $20,000 per year. Almost all of that $20,000 must be spent to pay rent, purchase food, clothes, and other basics. Sales tax on $20,000 at 9.25% totals $1,850. Add a half cent, the total becomes $1,950. 5, that additional $100 may not be a significant amount to you commissioners, but it means new shoes and potatoes, peas, and carrots to many families struggling to get by. 6, another consequence. When you purchase a new automobile or SUV, a typical price is $30,000. A half cent sales tax increase adds $150 to the new vehicle's price, enough to drive that business to Turkey Creek or Lenore City. Airport motor mile already is withering away. Alcoa's tax increase will hasten that demise. 7, contrary to Alcoa's claim that new retail developments will bring in outside customers and that visitors will pay much or most of the sales tax increase, the added sales tax will divert retail business to Knox County and Loudoun County. Even the large number of Blount County residents who already drive to Turkey Creek or West Town Mall for important shopping will increase that exodus. 8, it would seem to me that Blount County's business community and government leaders would see the benefits of lower sales taxes and the residual benefits to consumers as well as business. 9, I'm in favor of Alcoa's new high school plus education improvements in all Blount County schools. I don't know of anyone who doesn't share that sentiment. 10, the bottom line is you are shooting the retail business in the foot and the middle and low-income citizens in the pocketbook if you pass the proposed sales tax increase. Thank you.
Howdy, my name's Samuel Duck, 3rd District. I just want to say that 21 Republicans just got schooled on small government and the free market by a Democrat. That's amazing. All right, I'm going to get right to the meat. Last time y'all raised taxes, we were just beginning to organize. I got 388 signatures at the time. I picked up 5 more signatures, and somebody else just held me a whole folder full of more signatures that I hadn't even counted yet. 3,000 can force a charter on this county. This time we have more volunteers, better organization, and better experience. If we win this battle, one thing we're going to do is synchronize the election with the state elections. For example, Roy Gamble won in May with 502 votes.
Excuse me, sir. Are you speaking to F3?
Oh, F3, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
On the sales tax.
All right.
Mr.
Continue.
Taylor won with 413 votes, and Mr. Lael won with 393 votes. When y'all hold your primaries back in May, there's no voter turnout. Synchronizing this election is going to put an end to that. Next thing I'm going to do when we get this charter is going to have term limits, and we're going to reduce the number of commissioners to 1 per district. That means 11 of y'all go home first day of the charter. You know, don't think we're going to succeed. Last time we got our 388 going door to door. This time you're going to bring the signatures to us. I'm getting permits. I'm going to be set up outside the courthouse on early voting. I'm going to be set up at your polling stations when the election day starts in November. Last presidential election, 56,000 folks turned out. That's a lot more than 300 and something at these county commission races. If we get 10% of those signatures with what we've got now, that's twice the number we need in order to impose a charter on y'all. You know, y'all keep seeing this line that's for the kids, but we buy $785,000 racetracks, $4 million worth of radios, $17,000 phones, and we're spending $15.7 million per year on debt service. The problem is not a lack of revenue. You can't spend your way out of a spending problem. You can't tax your way out of a spending problem. You can't borrow your way out of a debt problem. If we didn't owe millions and millions of dollars of debt, and first of all, if we didn't owe that much debt, we wouldn't have all these crazy debt schemes like VRDOs that we're tied up in. And second of all, that's 3 times the money these schools need. We're spending 3 times the money that they're asking for and giving it to banks. Even the Daily Times, which is usually on your side, says that y'all overspend by over $9 million per year. You know, and by the way, you're only going to get about $3 million, $4 million out of this thing. You're $10 million over budget yourselves. You're going to have to raise taxes again. What's it going to be? Wheel tax? More property tax? Traffic cameras? Most of that money goes overseas anyways. I mean, what's your end game here? When are you not going to need another tax? You've just got to cut the budget across the board. I'd start with the Sheriff's Department. That's all.
I'm from District 7, and you folks know me well.
Would you please state your name?
I'm Tana Monroe.
We're streamed live, so other people may not know your name. Please.
All right, I'm Tana. Bring on the Democrats if that's what it takes to bring fiscal conservatism to Blount County. We keep hearing about how the poor little kids are only getting $8,400 each spent on them. Well, the state spends about $9,000. If you break the funding down, the local for what the Blount County is spending versus the local of what the state is spending, on average, is only 0.4% different. The state actually kicks in a couple of percentage points higher for Blount County than on average for the state. The difference is the federal funding. So it's not a lack of local funding that is the problem in Blount County. And furthermore, why are we comparing it to the school that spends the most and setting the worst standard? If we look at the private schools in the area, they're spending anywhere from $4,800 to $6,700 per student. They can't go and put a lien on their neighbor's property to force them to pay taxes. And they have higher test scores than the public schools with thousands of dollars less. If you break down that $8,400 per student that we're spending, 87% of it goes to salaries and benefits. Our teachers get free health care, and we get to whine about how the poor little kids don't have any money spent on them. Well, maybe we need to look at where 87% of that money is going. I'd like to remind you all that we have religion up there, and it says, "Thou shalt not steal." It says, "Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's goods." If you approve this, you are approving a coveting of your neighbor's goods through the force of government to implement the 10th plank of the Communist Manifesto. Thank you.
Okay, the next row.
I'm Paula Kirby. I'm in the 7th District, and I'm speaking on F3. I'm not as eloquent as everybody else, but I always raise my kids that if your friend goes out and jumps off the bridge, should you go do it too? Just because Alcoa raised taxes doesn't mean that we have to do it also. I mean, Tennessee is one of the highest in taxes as it is. And with the economy the way that it is, it becomes more of a burden on everyone. I have chosen not to shop in Alcoa anymore because I don't want to pay the extra tax. And I have the benefit that I live in District 7 that I don't have to shop in Blount County anymore. And I don't want to have to do that. But I will go to Lenoir City or Von Orr or someplace else and do my shopping, other than shop in Blount County. There has got to be another way than hitting people with more taxes. Thank you.
Does anyone else wish to address the commission? Please come forward, sir.
My name is Nick Scott, District 10, speaking on F3. You know, I've been attending these commissioner meetings now for several years. It amazes me, sitting there listening to some of the speakers, that over those years, the speakers get up here and pound this podium and say, let the people vote. Tonight they get up here and say, don't let the people vote. They can't have it both ways. Let the people vote.
Commission will come to order. There's no business under items D or E. Next item of business is agenda item F1A. Chair will stand for a motion on budget transfer in the amount of $13,000 in the general county fund.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we move F1A, B, C, and D as one item collectively.
Motion made by Commissioner Burkhalter, second by Commissioner Samples, to take the budget transfers 1A, B, C, and D as one item. Discussion on, or any questions on any of those items? Members ready for the question? The pending motion is to approve budget transfers F1A, 1B, 1C, and 1D. Vote yes to approve the budget transfers. Vote no not to approve.
You have 20 yeses.
20 yes, 0 no. The budget transfers are approved. Next item of business is agenda item F2A. The chair will stand for a motion on F2A Resolution 1208-007 to amend the general county fund budget by a credit of $874,033. Mr. Lael moves. Burkhalter seconds. The pending motion, or the motion, is to adopt Resolution 1208-007. Discussion. Vote yes to adopt the resolution. Vote no not to adopt.
You have 20 yeses.
20 yes. The resolution is adopted. Next item is F2B. The chair will stand for a motion on Resolution 1208-008 to amend the debt service fund budget by a credit of $189,000. Mr. Farmer, Mrs. Lambert, the motion is to adopt Resolution 1208-008. Members ready for the question? Vote yes to adopt the resolution. Vote no not to adopt. Resolution's adopted. Moving to F2C, the chair will stand for a motion on Resolution 1208-009 to amend other agency fund budget by $1,327,579. Mr. Lewis moves. Mr. Burkhalter seconds. Motion is to adopt Resolution 1208-009. Are the members ready for the question? Vote yes to adopt the resolution. Vote no not to adopt.
You have 20 yeses.
Resolution is adopted. Moving to the next business item is F2D, Resolution 1208-010, to amend the Central Cafeteria Fund budget by $19,700. Mr. Lewis, Commissioner Burkhalter. Pending motion is to adopt 1208-010. Are the members ready for the question? Vote yes to adopt the resolution. Vote no not to adopt.
20 yeses.
20 yes, 0 no. The resolution's adopted. Chair will stand for a motion on item F2E, Resolution 1208-011, to amend the Education Capital Fund budget by a credit of $300,000.
F2E and F2F together as one because they're contacting the accounts.
Commissioner Burkhalter moves. Commissioner French seconds. The motion is to adopt Resolution 1208-011 and 1208-012. Discussion. Are the members ready for the question? The motion is to adopt Resolution 1208-011 and Resolution 1208-012. Vote yes to adopt. Vote no not to adopt.
We have 20 yeses.
Both resolutions are adopted. Excuse me. Next item of business is F2G. The chair will stand for a motion on F2G, Resolution 1208-013, to amend the general county fund budget by $73,000. Mr. French moves. Mr. Samples moves. Ms. Lambert seconds. The motion is to adopt 1208-013. Are the members ready for the question? Vote yes to adopt the resolution. Vote no not to adopt.
We have 19 yeses and 1 no.
19 yes, 1 no. The resolution's adopted. The next item of business is F3. The chair will stand for a motion on F3, Resolution 1208-006, a resolution to place on the November 6, 2012 ballot a question for levying an additional sales and use tax in Blount County. Hastert moves. Lales seconds. The resolution is to adopt Resolution 1208-006. Mr. French, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I want to ask the Commission to bear with me. I am prepared to propose an amendment to this resolution tonight. But before I do, I'd like some information provided the Commission. First of all, let me say that school funding is important to me. And again, I'd like to state a few facts that were stated tonight. First of all, Blount County spending per student is $643 less than the state average. That's per student. System-wide, that equates to about $7 million. Maryville spends about $845 per student more than Blount County. And as was pointed out, Alcoa spends about $2,500 more per student. In 2010-2011, the schools had a shortfall of about $4.2 million. They gave up 39 positions. 15 of those were teachers. In 2011-2012, we had a 3.4 shortfall, and we lost about 15 positions. Now, when I say lost, these positions were lost due to attrition, or some of the positions were moved to federal positions, or these positions just weren't filled. In 2012 and 13, this year, I think we've given up 10 positions. And this is all just information. We've got 9 elementary schools that do not have assistant principals. Now, I think instead of looking at all the negative points that were brought out tonight, we need to look at the positive points. first positive point is our school system was recognized as one of 21 systems in the state as exemplary. And we've done that, We've done that with less money. Now, the plaudits go to the group of teachers, administrators, and the workers we have in our school system. They're the people that are doing this. Just think of the heights they could achieve if we raised the funding just a little bit. Just think of the heights, not just in the state, not just Blount County in the state, but in the nation and in the world. Just look at what could be achieved if we had a little bit more money. Now, that being said, I want to go back to the sales tax referendum. My understanding is the resolution calls for a 50-50 split, which will provide our schools with $2.4 million more. That is roughly figuring what, 3, 6, 9, 10 cents on the tax rate at $300,000 per penny. I stopped in to try to get these facts yesterday and talk with Mr. Vineyard, and I had a question for him, and I'd like for him, and I'd like for you commissioners to listen to the facts. My question posed to him was this: Mr. Vineyard, and this is what I'm basing my amendment on, and I will go into the amendment after he provides you with these figures. What if, instead of a 50-50 split, what if we decided to designate all the sales tax increase to education? How would that affect our funding? And if I could, I'd like to ask Mr. Vineyard to provide.
You may.
Thank you.
Mr. Vineyard, you're recognized.
Thank you, Commissioner. As I stated last week when I was asked what a 0.5% sales tax would be estimated to generate, I gave you the information that it's $7.6 million approximately a year. And I was also asked how that would be allocated under the resolution as it's presently drafted, which is a 50-50 split. My estimate was schools would be about $2.4 million and the highway department would be about $600,000. So a total out of the $7.6 million that the increase in sales tax would generate to Blount County government in the form of its highway department and school system is about $3 million of the total 7.6. In response to the question I was asked yesterday by Commissioner French, a 0.5% sales tax increase all going to education still generates $7.6 million, but the school system would receive 62% of that, which is about $4.7 million. And he followed that up with, what about highways? And my response was the commission has the authorities to allocate the tax rate in any way it sees fit. Does that answer your question?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to continue. Based on this information, I think that the children of Blount County deserve the best we can give them. We're not going to slight anyone by allocating the full amount of this sales tax to the school system. We're going to help ourselves in the long run. Again, as Mr. Vineyard said, we can appropriate. Bill Dunlap's not going to lose anything in this proposal. We can allocate the 2 cents to take that $600,000 that he's going to get from this. So I'm prepared to propose that we amend this resolution tonight and take care of Blount County in the future. Just look at the benefits we're going to achieve in the future. And I'm for the sales tax. Don't get me wrong. I want people to know that I am pushing for the sales tax, mainly because we're not going to get help just from the taxpayers of Blount County. We have tourists that come in and visit this county, and I dare say that we will recognize more benefits from the tax increase from tourists visiting this county than we're going to lose from people driving 30 miles to save 50 cents on $100. Why would you do that? So my proposal to amend this resolution that we designate the full amount to the school system, the full amount of the sales tax increase. And that is my proposal.
Mr. French
for the
moves
amendment.
to amend by striking 1/2 the proceeds to be used for education, 1/2 Blount County Highway Department, and insert 100% of the proceeds to education.
Yes, sir.
Mr. French moves. Is there a second? Is there a second to the motion to amend? The chair, hearing no second, motion fails for the lack of a second. Mr. Folks, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I had a number of questions. I believe most of them have been answered at this point. I do have one question, though, on what was just stated. Mr. Binyard, you
address the chair, sir?
Yes. I have a couple of points of information that I'd like from Mr. Binyard, with the permission of the chair.
Ask the question, sir.
Something you've just said doesn't make sense to me. If with the proposal as it is, you stated that the schools get $2.4 million, the highway department gets $0.6 million, for a total of $3 million. But you said that if we give it all to the schools, somehow they get 4.7. How does 3 become 4.7?
Just a moment, sir. You're recognized.
80% of all sales tax that is collected in Blount County originates in its point of sale in the city of Alcoa and the city of Maryville. 15% of all sales tax in the county originates outside the incorporated areas of Blount County. And then the other 5% of the sales tax point of sale originates in the other 4 cities in Maryville. And the allocation, Blount County educates the children in the other 4 cities. And the taxes, 50-50 split, half, or $3.8 million that's generated annually, has to be split on an ADA basis. So 62% of the children being in Blount County schools, 62% of the half would go to Blount County. 28% are educated in the Maryville school system, so 28% of the sales tax dollars of the half go to Maryville, and then 10% for Alcoa.
So the ADA is what shifts
that is
the
correct.
amount of money, and in effect gives the county a greater amount of money, which is what Commissioner French was trying to get at. Okay. Now, on the surface of it, that would seem to make some sense. If it were tied to a similar reduction in the property tax, the citizens of the county could end up ahead. Otherwise, it's really not going to work to our favor. I'd like to offer a little different amendment that's along the lines of what Superintendent Dunlap was just speaking about. We gave the Highway Department $600,000 more revenue this year by redirecting the franchise, the cable franchise tax, to the Highway Department. This would give him another $600,000. Now, to his credit, Mr. Dunlap has told us all that, hey, he doesn't want both. So I would offer an amendment that would change the distribution of this tax increase in Section 4 and Section 5 of the resolution to read 1/2 of the proceeds to education and 1/2 to reduce the principal on the county debt. And I would remind everybody that a large portion of that county debt was incurred to build all the schools that we have. And our debt is the highest of any county our size in the state by a large margin. We are being crushed by the debt. Our debt service is $15 million a year, and we'd sure like to have it to use for other things. And we'd have a lot more flexibility if we did. So it's time to get to work and start paying down that debt, which is the reason I'm offering this amendment. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Folks moves to replace 1/2 education and 1/2 Blount County Highway Department with 1/2 education and 1/2 to pay down principal on debt. Is there a second? Chair hearing no seconds, the motion to amend is lost. The pending motion is to adopt resolution number 1208-006. Are the members ready for the question? Vote yes to adopt the resolution. Vote no, not to adopt. Please vote.
Mr. Chairman, I have my light on. You're recognized, Commissioner Folks. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This $7.6 million increase is one of the largest tax increases this county has ever put forth. Nobody should have any doubt about that. And whether we'll realize that much money is an open question. Someone said that people won't drive far to avoid a 3/4 or 1% difference in the sales tax. But in my part of the county that I represent, it's the same distance, whether we go to Maryville, Alcoa, or whether we go to Lenoir City. And Lenoir City, the tax is 3/4 of 1% less. And so where are you going to buy your car? Probably in Lenoir City if you live near where I am. Now, if many people do that, we're not going to realize the amount of money that we've projected from this tax. So nobody should run off, start spending it right away. Several comparative studies have shown that this county spends 20% more than similar-sized Tennessee counties. These studies showed that most of our county departments do a good job of holding down spending. The studies also showed the waste is concentrated in the Sheriff's Department, the Circuit Court Clerk's Department, and a few of the Mayor's departments. This commission consists of all Republican members. Yet this commission has done nothing to cut this wasteful spending.
Mr. Commissioner Folks, you're speaking adversely to actions previously taken, not pending. Continue.
Instead, this commission wants to indirectly feed the wasteful spending habits of a few badly managed departments with one of the largest tax increases in our history. This is wrong, especially in a time when we're facing uncertainty, economic uncertainty in this country like we've never faced before. We've got a fiscal cliff coming up, and we've got Europe on the verge of disintegration, which would have a major impact on the financial system and the economy of this country. This is not the time to be putting forth the largest tax increase in the history of the county. It's wrong. It's not what Republicans are supposed to stand for. I'll not vote for it.
Pardon me, you're out of order. You must obtain the floor first, Commissioner. You know that. Commissioner Burkhalter, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just want to say a few things. This body tonight, we are not voting for a tax increase. Alcoa has already voted to impose a $3.3 million tax increase on the citizens that decide to shop in Blount County or in the city of Alcoa. Regardless if they're from Knoxville, Lebanon, Gallatin, Kentucky, Massachusetts, anybody that flies into the airport, they get off a plane, they go across the street, they go to Sonic, they're going to be paying the sales tax. They decide to buy a car here. The local option sales tax stops at $3,200 for single article tax. You're already paying that. Don't know it. Tennessee passed a law that said that if the local option sales tax from 9.25 to 9.75 is not in place, that difference, that be it in Lenoir City at 0.75% or here in Blount County or the city of Alcoa at 0.5%, is automatically added on to any single article up to $3,200. So that extra you're paying for the car at West Chevrolet, you're already paying it, regardless of what we do here tonight, regardless of what referendum is passed, and regardless of what Alcoa has already done. Do we really want to have to pit the county against the city of Alcoa? Do we want to choose to shop at the Walmart in Maryville over the Walmart in Alcoa because of this issue? This community has grown because of us all working together. We have a Blount partnership. We have our Parks and Rec. We have our library. All those are funded by two municipalities in this body working together for the best of Blount County. I really believe that it is the right of this people, the citizens of Blount County, to vote. One, do they want an increase? That is your all's choice. It's our job to make sure we give you that choice and to get the facts that are out there. Last week, a member of this body said, well, we just need to get the facts out there so that you all can understand what's going on. One of the numbers that I heard tonight was that if 100% was to go to the schools, that Blount County get $4.2 million. I have a slight problem with my interpretation of law on that because I'm under the understanding that each municipality gets to keep half of the sales tax they generate in that municipality. So the only amount that we would be able to split had Mr. French's motion gone forward would have been 62% of the $600,000. Well, that's only $2.7 million, not $4.2. It would have been a $215,000 swing for Blount County because of the ADA. We've heard tonight about how we need to spend more money for our kids. We do. But Blount County's children in their education system mathematically will never be able to outspend Maryville City or Alcoa City, because whatever sales tax or property tax we generate, we have to split with them on an ADA basis. The only tax that we as the county get to give to the school system is property and sales tax. And we have to split that with Maryville and Alcoa. We don't get to levy a tax just on those outside of the municipalities. So mathematically speaking, when we only get one source of revenue and we have to share that on a per pupil basis, Maryville and Alcoa automatically get to add a second income tax through their, or not income tax, but a second property tax onto that to help their education system. So yes, Maryville and Alcoa will always outspend Blount County on a per pupil basis. You might not like it, you might not agree with it, but that's just how it's going, that's just how it is. Trying to go through my notes about some of the other inaccuracies. So are we passing tonight a $7.6 million sales tax? No. We're asking the county, the citizens of Blount County, if they want to have the entire county, be it the students from Wallen, city of Louisville that Mr. Gallagher represents, the students in Maryville, yes, the students in Alcoa, to all share equally based how we always have done in this community by all of us working together and supporting all of us at the same way. Thank you.
Commissioner Lambert, you're recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I call for the question.
Ms. Lambert moves the previous question. Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I have a point.
There's a second. It's not debatable, sir. We have call for the question. State your point, sir. I'll rule. Excuse me.
I'd like to get to the bottom of
Sir, go ahead.
I'd like to get to the bottom of this difference in numbers here. We're being told in one case...
Chair rules, not, that request is not in order. Previous question's been called and seconded by Commissioner Melton. It's not debatable. Vote yes to stop debate. Vote no to continue debate. Please vote. Clarification? Yes. Call for the previous question's been made and seconded. It's not a debatable motion. It requires a 2/3 vote in the affirmative to end debate and move to the vote. Vote yes to stop discussion. Vote no to continue discussion.
You have 18 yeses and 2 noes.
18 yes, 2 noes. The previous question is carried. The pending motion immediately comes to adopt Resolution 1208. Excuse me. To adopt 1208-006. Vote yes to adopt the resolution. Vote no not to adopt.
You have 19 yeses and 1 no.
19 yes, 1 no. The resolution. The resolution is adopted. Motion to recess. Second. Without objection, we'll recess. 5 minutes. The commission will come to order, please. If you'll return to your seats. Commissioner Carver.
Very good. I like it.
Commissioner Melton. Commissioner Farmer. I don't know. It's Dunlap's request. Commission will be in order. Commission will be in order. Next item of business is F6. The chair will stand for a motion on item F6. Resolution 12-08002, a resolution to amend the zoning map of Blount County, Tennessee from S suburbanizing to C commercial for property located at 2884 West Lamar Alexander Parkway. The property is identified by tax map 055, parcel 053.03. We have 6 and 7 together, made by Commissioner Kirby, seconded by Commissioner Burkhalter. The motion is to adopt resolutions 1208-002 and 1208-003. Discussion. Commissioner Kirby. Seconded by Commissioner Burkhalter. Commissioner Kirby, do you wish to be recognized? Are members ready for the question? The motion is to adopt resolutions 1208-002 and 1208-003. Vote yes to adopt the resolutions. Vote no not to adopt.
You have 18 yeses and 2 noes.
18 yes, 2 noes. The resolutions are adopted. The next item of business is F8. The chair will stand for motion on item F8 to set a public hearing for September the 11th, 2012 at 6:45 p.m. in room 430 Blount County Courthouse for the purpose of hearing testimony concerning a request for rezoning from R1 Rural District 1 to C Commercial regarding property located at the corner of Townsend Lane and East Lamar Alexander Parkway, identified on tax map 097 and parcel 126.01. Commissioner Kirby, Commissioner Carver, the motion is to set a public hearing for rezoning for 6:45 on September the 11th, room 430, Blount County Courthouse. Discussion. Vote yes to set the public hearing. Vote no not to set.
You have 19 yeses and 1 no.
19 yes, 1 no. The public hearing is set. Moving on to agenda item G, announcements and statements. Commissioner Hasty.
Thank you. I'll take this time here instead of public input, not on the agenda, to say on behalf of my wife and myself and the Coach Galen Johnson Jr. family, I would like to say thank you for the overwhelming outpour of love from each of y'all, shown from your prayers, cards, phone calls, messages since the death of my wife's father. Thank you again.
Any other announcements or statements? Seeing no lights, we'll move to item H, public input on items not on the agenda. Seeing no hands, any commissioners have any comments? Having no other business on the agenda, without objection, We'll stand adjourned.